Hey y'all, what's up? I hope everyone is having a great day. It being 2 hours of Raw is kind of weird. Okay? And I legit had to Google, because you know, the Mandela effect stuff we think has happened, and if a group of you guys think it happened, we'll say it happened and it didn't. Or also the Mandela effect, something has happened and then a company or the media or government will erase it and make it seem like we're crazy. Now, unless we can pull up proof that it happened. So it's like, we don't know. But I had to Google, because I'm like, I remember Raw ending at 11. And I was like, has it always been 2 hours? Because like I told you guys before, the past 2.5 years, May of 2022, and me watching spurts of like when Edge went solo, and then parts of like when CM Punk had the long hair and stuff. And I think I saw when like Beth and Natalya had teamed up, and Natalya was a tag team champion, and I didn't know who her or Tamina or nothing like that was. I ain't watched since the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era. And the only reason why I watched that is because I watched with my little brother. And after he stopped watching it, I wasn't really feeling it, so I stopped watching it. So it said that like Raw used to be from 9 to 11, but it was 2 hours. So I was right. So when we used to have to go to bed at 9, I think he used to come on at 9. When we used to have to go to bed, or it could have been 8 too. Now I gotta look it up again. I think it used to be 9 to 11, because I remember us having to be in bed at 9 o'clock, and my house was split level growing up in Northern Virginia. So when you open the door, you either went upstairs or downstairs, and the rec room downstairs, what my mom called the basement, and the laundry room, and the 3/4 bathroom, which is shower only, tub and sink, and then 2 bedrooms was downstairs. So me and my 2 sisters was in the rooms downstairs. 2 of us would share a room at a time. We would rotate. And then upstairs would be the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, another bathroom, a full bathroom with a tub and stuff. My baby brother's room would be across from my parents' room. But we would try to sneak down to the rec room and had the TV on like 3. So we knew she couldn't hear it, because my mama, of course, being a mom of 4 kids, had bionic hearing, and we used to hate it. Have it on 3 and sit real close so we can see and hear what was going on Raw. So I'm trying to look now, because it says the history of Raw. I didn't really start. Started watching, I think, in 96. And then I was out for a couple months. And then I came back, I think 95, 96. Then I was out. And then came back full-fledged at like the end of 96, beginning of 97. And I watched for 5 years consistently. And it was crazy. So I'm trying to see, because I'm like, what time did it start? I don't know what time it started. It's not showing me anything. I think it said from 8 to 10. Which would kind of probably make sense, to be honest, though. Because if we had to be in bed at 9 and we watched the hour of it, that means we snuck and watched the last hour. Like, we wouldn't be put to bed and then watch 2 hours of it. Like, that didn't make sense. So I'm pretty sure I legit had to look it up, because, you know. I love tonight. Well, no, I'm not gonna lie. The beginning half of Raw I didn't like, and I didn't like it because went from 3 to 2 hours. And I know it's going to take probably a couple of weeks. They condensed it, and the merging of segments was too much. That makes sense. I like the fact that it's 2 hours because it's a Monday night, and by the time I do a video and stuff like that, it's 11 o'clock, and I can go to bed, and I'm not wasting no sleep. I love that part. And I love the fact that I let my son stay up a little bit longer because he goes to bed at 9:30 to finish watching it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't like the fact that it was rushed. So I saw CM Punk come out there. He was all stuff on his arm. He had the forehead thing and the thing over here. And he's basically talking about something. I told you guys I ain't have no more in me. And y'all was right. And I came out of there breathing and this, that, there. And people thought he was quitting. And I was like, yeah, the man just came back less than a year ago. It'll be a year of Survivor Series. He's not quitting. If he quit, Drew really put him through hell. So I was like, he is probably taking a hiatus. So that's basically what he said he was doing. So I was like, so you mean to tell me he's not going to be at Crown Jewel? And I was like, no. I was like, to be honest, though, don't nobody, like, and I'm being a whole 100, Crown Jewel has to be the most lackluster PLE WWE has. I don't care. And the crowd could be hyped. Like, even last year, I tried to, like, and the only thing that made me tune in and hype it up is because, like, certain people were in it. And then they had, like, the Queen of the Ring tournament, like, finals tournament and stuff like that. But, because it wasn't called Crown Jewel last year. It was it? Oh, I'm rewriting with my life. No, that was earlier this year, right? In Saudi. But either way, every time they go, and they've been going to Saudi for 10 years, so how much longer are y'all going to have this contract? Is it for life? Can we go to another city? You know what I'm saying? Like, we over there in the Middle East and Asia. Can we go to, like, India? Can we go somewhere else? Can we go to China and do Crown Jewel? Hell, can we go to Spain or Portugal? Like, does it have to be Saudi Arabia? And I understand it because I think they had just signed, or I seen something online about a girl who's Middle Eastern that's Muslim that has a hijab, had a job on, and would be like the first like Muslim woman, openly like Muslim woman to be a wrestler, which is cool, you know, breaking barriers there. The crazy part is we be at Saudi all the time, but we don't have no Middle Eastern representation that I know of. Like, because Middle East is more so, it's really a mix of the three coming together, like Pan-Asia, the outside of India, and then north of Africa, north of Egypt, and then like south of Europe. So it's like right there. But I'm like, if you count the 3 continents, we have African and European, Asian, but I'm like, we don't have a Middle East. And then the people that we did, I think except for Sami. And so he represents that as a whole. But people more so identify with him being Canadian versus that. And then people were complaining, you know, because they let go of like certain people that represented the culture. But now that I'm getting older and getting more involved into these stories, I understand it now. Like, you like a lot of people, you want them to be the best, but as a woman that's been a manager and that is a business major, if it's not a fit for the company, like, you're going to try your hardest. You're going to try to get them in dark matches. You'll probably try to get them on TV and stuff like that. But if it does not make sense, and if they're not progressing in the ring or on the mic, it makes no sense to keep them. Like, say in your contract, I don't know if it's like the NFL, the NBA, that if you get injured or traded or something, a certain part of your money is guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like, oh, he signed $110 million contract. $75 million is guaranteed. So if that man get injured week 2, he still get $75 million throughout the year. But the rest of the the rest of the $35 million, which would be like a third of his salary taken away, he don't get. So like, is that because WWE technically are contract workers, even though they work for a company? So is that like how it works? Because if that's how it works, I would not be mad at that if I got let go. You know what I'm saying? But if that's not how it works, then you seriously gotta save, because you don't never know, like, if you'll be let go. You can't be out here splurging and stuff. And then people that come from nothing, or came from very humble beginnings, or like middle class, and you see like a large amount of money, like your first instinct, if you don't have, if you're not disciplined in finances, it's a spend, thinking it's always going to be there. It's not. Okay. Or if you decide to spend, and you might get let go, the thing you should spend on is a house. So even if you like, I get this big check, I buy a house in cash, or pay 90% of it. At least if I get let go of, I ain't worried about, oh, how I'm gonna pay my mortgage outside of like my utilities and my property tax, because I got a place to stay. But that's how. Anyways, I got my whole tangent about that. I don't know why. But yeah. So what was I saying? Oh, it was the most lackluster thing, like, event. So he came, like, he was talking. Then in the middle, he ain't even turn around and walk away good. And then Seth came out, and Seth looked at him. First, I didn't see the beginning, so I didn't know even Sexyy Red was there. Okay? Before all that happened. Because somebody was like, her hat, and it was laughing. And I was like, whose hat? I came in, I think it was 8:04. And I always come in now. I need to come in on time, because like on SmackDown, I used to come in like 8:03, 8:04, because I knew they were showing highlights from last week. But now, because all the talent and stuff like that, and they're taking an hour away of the programming, you need that time. Like, hey, we might show you a clip or something, but like YouTube, go to YouTube, go to Instagram. Okay. Yeah, so Seth came out, looked at him, and then walked off. And I said, that stare down that's technically what we were supposed to get this WrestleMania, but Punk got injured. So, from what I heard, so instead of Drew, but honestly, the pivot worked. Like when they be like, if certain people get hurt and stuff like that, the pivot works. I mean, the pivot, and I'm like, I don't like Nick and Bruce and Road Dogg and Shane and Triple H and all them, when they do and the writers and stuff like that, and the other people that's in creative, when they do a pivot in this past like 2.5 years, they have not missed, because the fact that Punk got injured and then they used Drew in his place, and then it carried Drew's storyline all the way up until now, is very like much a good thing. Like even with the women's division, with SmackDown. And SmackDown women's division storyline has always been mediocre from what I've seen. Like to me, like I said most times, Raw's women's like storylines and stuff have carried. And a lot of times if Raw, the men on Raw storylines are like lackluster, we at least had the women that look forward to. Except for honestly like this past 6 months, because outside of like Maxine and Ivy maybe having a little beef, and then Pure Fusion Collective having beef with like Kayden and Carter, and then Damage Control as of recent, Like, the women's division stuff has been okay. But to me, it wasn't like last year. It wasn't like the year before. Like, 2023 compared to 2022, 2023 knocked it out of the park for me. This year, I guess because 2023, the bar was so high, I don't know if it, like, knocked it out of the park this year. As far as, like, prior to the year before. But I will say that it kept the status quo. So if like 2022 was here and 2023 was here, 2024 is also here. And the reason why I say that is because 2023, a lot of stuff was in development for this year. And in this year, a lot of the stuff that we saw in 2023, as far as storytelling and stuff, has come to pass, which makes it so much better, so much more fun. Yeah, my eyes are now getting heavy because this is the time I say that at 10:45. But so they show him. I tweeted at King Joy because I'm like, I so miss Seth being on TV. Not just because he's one of my favorites, and he's probably my favorite male talent on Raw right now, because the only reason why I watch Raw outside of like Katana and Karrion and like Tegan and Natalya as a tag team, and I like that Ivy and Maxine as a tag team. Like for the men, for me, it was Seth, it was Ricochet, who's no longer there, it's Ivar, who was injured, and it's Bronson. Like, everyone else could be like whatever. Oh, and Truth. But I'm like, everyone else, I couldn't care less. And then once we got Dragunov in, I was like, oh yeah, okay. Like, I'm a fan of Jey, but for me, it's not like how some of the people are like, oh, and Liv, because Liv is my girl outside of Bianca. Like, Liv is my girl. But yeah, so like for I'm excited. I was excited to see him on TV, but I'm like, I miss watching your masterpieces on TV. Like at first, when I first started watching, and he used to have on certain stuff, I was like, the hell he got on. And even now, certain people will tweet me and be like, I know B is like about to say something about the outfits or the hair. I'm like, y'all know I'm about to tweet about it I do it all the time, for one. Like, of course, I'm a hair girly. Like, even though my hair be looking rough in some of these videos, I do my own. So, I went to college high school. Like, I work in production weekly. So, and I have a business degree. So, I'm like, to me, it's like all the factors. So, if like, in my mind, if you knock it out the park, you knock it out the park for me. Like, I'm only comparing what I think to what I think. Like, I don't care what anybody else thinks. But like, I'm a C2 News, like, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. Because I'm like, that's the only way we could see what he's wearing. I'm like, Charlotte's injured. Becky, I don't know if she's taking a hiatus. I don't know if they're doing contract negotiations. I don't know if she left the company to be with Rue. But I know that I feel, before I get into the Seth thing, I feel like, not unless their mom, like if they wanted to raise her in Iowa and his mom had her most of the week, or she was homeschooled for like kindergarten and first grade, I don't see both of them being on Raw. Or I see one of them being on there part-time. Or the other option would be one of them going to TNA or AEW, because you have to factor in the baby and her going to school. Like, I'm low-key trying to figure out how the hell Triple H and Stephanie did it. Not unless they all stayed in the same city, like them, Shane, and their parents. or they just had a nanny there. Because I'm like, how the hell y'all do that? And y'all was running the company, and every week we saw you on TV. Like, well, the people saw you on TV, because I be looking at, like, old matches. It's a channel called WWE Vault. I don't know if it's affiliated with WWE. But, like, a couple of the clips and stuff, they be there. And I'm like, y'all there every week. So, like, and y'all got girls and stuff like that. Like, mind you, most of them probably grown and stuff. I'm like, how did y'all do that? That's what you call having a village. Okay? What is going on with my eyes today? Like, I want to say it's allergies. And if it is, they out of control. I forgot to buy my nasal cord. That's probably part of the reason why. But yeah, so, like, what he had on, I wasn't mad at. And then when he said what he had to say, and he looked in the camera all close, and he was like, get well soon. I was like, get well soon? Like, you don't even like him. And, he's like, because when you come back, I'm being, I was like, okay, that's a Seth I know. And this guy, that I work with, he's an older gentleman, and, he watches wrestling. Like, that's one of his favorite things to do. Like, him and his wife. And he's talking to me about it. He was like, you think Sami is going to beat Gunther? And I was like, no. I was like, they not going to let Sami come out here and embarrass Gunther twice. And I'm like, if Gunther knows better and smartened up, he would know that he got to go a whole different level with Sami. I said, I think they're waiting for Gunther, for Seth to come back so Gunther could fight Seth. Because I'm like, he was on an interview with Michael Cole. That was one of his current dream matches. I forgot what PLE he said that for. I think it was Backlash. Was it Backlash? I think it was Backlash. I think he was still holding the title too at the time. But I love how Seth came on there and he was talking about things have been changing for the last couple months. I was been there, gone. And he was like Cody, Rhodes, and Roman. Then everybody got, he said, I ain't supposed to speak on that. So I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, I want to hear you speak on that. Like, you formed a whole alliance / kind of like a mutual respect and friendship with Cody. And he fought against your brother from the Shield, who is your enemy and stuff. And now they aligning. Like, that's crazy. Y'all even fought against, no, that was the Judgment Day. I was about to say, they fought against the Bloodline last year for War Games, but they fought against the Judgment Day. And then he went on to Bronson and was like, you tsunami'd me 6 times. Like, I'm coming for your ass, okay? He was like, I'm coming. I don't care what the stipulation is, what you trying to prove, basically. It's about to be popping. And I was like, okay. But then part of me is like, is him and Braun out too? Because that Monster and Monsters match last Monday was crazy. Like, are they both injured, or are they both getting their life together? Then someone said, it's a picture floating around on Twitter where Drew is after the Hell in a Cell match, and somebody has on black gloves, and it's somebody with tribal tattoos, and it was like, watch Roman be on Drew's side for Hell in a Cell. And I was like, but I was like, there's no way in hell, okay? I was like, first of all, Drew being on the same side as Roman for Hell in a Cell would be just like KO being on the same side as Roman on Hell in a Cell. There's no way in hell that's what happened. Both of them been fighting the Bloodline for 4.5 years. Okay? They lost numerous title shots. Homeboy lost the crown jewel because of Solo. Like, there's no way in hell that's happening. Okay? I was like, if anything, I said that might be Jocelyn Reed's tattoo. And I was like, y'all forget that man Samoan. Okay? Y'all forget. Alright? And then what else? Then immediately after that, like Jay's music come out. I was like, y'all not kept giving us a break. Like I think Seth either was in mid sentence or into his sentence. As soon as that happened, Jay came out in the middle of Seth being in the ring, and that's why I was like, the transitions were too close, too close. But you know what? Excuse me. I like Roman. No, not Roman. I like Rock. I like LA Knight when they do promos. I'm okay with Punk doing promos. Like, people be like, he ate and does all that. Like, he gives you real time, like, stories. But I don't really love it or hate it. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, but I'm saying, I'm naming them three in particular because them three will overtalk. Their time to talk or say something will be 2 minutes, and they'll go 5-10 minutes, and then that cuts out like matches or cuts matches down. It also makes stuff like the run-ins be close together. Like I feel like Drew, because Punk took so long to talk, Seth immediately had to come out. Then Jay immediately had to come out. And if that wasn't the case, they were just trying to cram everything in 2 hours, and that's crazy. Cause like, what is happening? Okay. And then I need a hair bow because this is irritating my neck right now. Sorry. And then they had a promo with Rhea online, which I didn't really hear too much of what she said, but from what I could tell, her and Liv still got beef going on. Raquel came out of the truck, and then Liv and Dom came out, and Jackie had interviewed them. Raquel ain't say nothing, and I said either Raquel tall as hell or Jackie short. Then I was like, no, Jackie short. I said because I think Liv is 5'2", and they the same height. So that answered my question, but that was later on. So then what else happened? Excuse me. I kind of missed the match with Jey and Woods. The internet froze up and stuff like that, and I was watching like on YouTube TV, and it froze. So I missed that whole thing. The only thing I caught was like Woods doing like this with his chest, and Kofi out there trying to help, like talking to him, and Woods, I guess, finding a way to blame, or saying like it wasn't right, something like that. But so I think Joe was like, Woods had control 95% of the match, and then he lost. So Jey retained. So then after that, Braun comes out. Braun Breaker comes out and spears the hell out of Jey. And I'm like, people are like, what the hell? And I said, I knew just based off how he looked and stuff. I was like, that wasn't over. Because you randomly come out after he win and give him like a handshake. Like, what? Then picks up the IC tag like, this is mine. So Kobe's like, we got to go help him. We got to go help him. Woods like, no. And they go, Woods goes, Kofi goes to help him. And I'm like, I never thought I'd see the day on TV. I was like, it's just weird. Because I'm like, they're helping each other and they're showing their real life friendship on Raw from behind the scenes. Like, this is when the fourth wall is like being knocked down. Like, it's the persona of Jey and Kofi, but we're not seeing the rivalry that they once had. So I'm like, I'm so used to the rivalry that they had, you know what I'm saying? All them times that them showing them actually on TV, helping each other out and stuff. Or be like, I love Jey or I love Woods or something like that. It's crazy to me. Like, that's crazy. Okay? That's just like when I watched The Rock go live on Instagram, speaking of, and you can tell this is all promo, because halfway through, he was just smiling and caught himself like smiling and laughing. And then he was talking about Stone Cold. He was like, that's my boy. He said, we can have a couple beers. Da, 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 da. And you know, towards the end, they start like having beers and stuff like that. I'm like, they had a rivalry too. So like at one point in time, when they first like had a beer together, we as kids was confused as hell because we was like, y'all used to beat the hell out of each other. Like, and that's how I guess some people are with like any member of the New Day, any member of like any of the Usos or the Bloodline. So it's like, so Kofi ends up getting speared. I think Jey got speared, and then what's the name comes out and comes around and hits Woods. So next week is gonna be Kofi versus Braun Breaker, and that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. I was watching this interview just now, or a snippet interview talking about Kofi they don't acknowledge like all his accolades, but not just that, just like how much of a GOAT he is, how much he's like in small ways changed the game, and he doesn't even know that he's changed the game. Like he could retire now and be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like he went on there, like he said, I was watching Muscleman Malcolm. I was watching a couple of his interviews, and he was talking about how when he first got into WWE, it was all about the titles for him. And then he was like, then he saw that we have a voice, and he was like, to be the first African born to win a world championship. And I was like, yeah, and to be like a part of the longest reigning tag team before the Usos broke that, and to have Kofi, you know, the whole Kofi Mania even before you won the title. And then I'm like, and then for me, did you making me crazy? Like, that was it for me. Like, when I first saw him, I was like, who is that? Okay? And then, like, he was one of the first ones, or if not the first one, when Royal Rumble came, if, like, to make sure that both his feet ain't touched the ground. So now, like, Naomi does it on the women's side, but, like, Kofi was, like, the first or one of her. Because I used to watch this stuff, and I'd be like, why they don't just jump on something else? Like, and he actually did it. Like, stuff like that, small stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crazy. Like he has, you know, and then he had the tag team with R-Truth and then stuff like that. So it's like he's part of a history, you know, making history. He was also, I think, part of Triple Crown Champions. I think because they won the NXT championships a year ago, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago against Pretty Deadly at Deadline. So yeah, but Woods versus Breaker is gonna be interesting. And then they had the thing with Rhea. They had the thing with Dom and them coming out. They had oh, then there was a clip going on talking about it was gonna be dealt with eternally, because I was like, what is people talking about? So I'm on Twitter tweeting, and on my timeline it shows like after Bad Blood, KO attacking Cody. So I was like, oh, because I remember yesterday I was like, this is good storytelling. Because I was like, remember yesterday I was like, Cody can't do the press conference. I was like, because they gotta get ready for this fight, UFC, and I was like, this is part of TKO, and I was like, you know, he'll sit there and answer every question if you let him, and I was like, because that's who he is, and I was like, Triple H probably like, nah, and that's true, that's still true, very much true. That sounds like Kurt Angle saying that, but at the same time, I'm like, him getting attacked by KO also makes sense of why he couldn't make the press conference. And I'm like, KO is such. This is what women would call, like, men who, just men who, people that think they're men, but that are boys, like, when they be talking about dating. KO be one of them people that you be like, red flags, his persona. Because I'm like, they ask you what's wrong, even as a friend or whatever. You talk about nothing. Oh, I don't want to talk about it now. I want to talk about it. And then why you don't want to talk about it, you letting it fester and get worse instead of de-escalate the situation. Now you attacking somebody that's your close friend, whom he said on Christmas V episode, like when his dad's statue got unveiled, the whole family took a picture, and plus Kevin. Then Brandy was like, I think tweeted a couple weeks ago, was like, Uncle Kev can't come over the house, or he not, or like he not invited to Thanksgiving. Like, y'all cool. So I'm like, this is crazy. So now I'm like, what the hell is about to happen even more on SmackDown? Like, I already said I was anticipating SmackDown, but now what's really about to happen on SmackDown? Because you done got that man so mad. He done attacked you. But to be honest with you, the him versus Corey Roman thing was the icing on the cake. That, to me, in my mind, like him fighting. Kind of got a piece of hair that was not supposed to be. Him fighting Corey was the icing on the cake. Corey teaming up with Roman was icing on the cake because where was we at? Was we at Berlin when he fought? KO fought Roman and not Roman, Corey. Not Corey, Cody. And Cody's leg and stuff was injured, and he wanted to attack his knee so bad, but he kept telling him that he was not like what people thought he was. He wasn't old KO, so he didn't. But then when he lost to Cody, he hated himself for it. I said that's where it started at. I'm like, so he just going back to he is who he is. Cause let's just keep it 100. Yeah, you don't like the bloodline because of what they do and they cheat and stuff like that, but you ain't that far off. Okay? Now you done attacked your best friend 3-4 times. Okay? It's like you attacked everybody except for you said Kofi, he didn't deserve it. Said that numerous times, but you attacked everybody. Turned on just about everybody. Except for I think Randy. And then so I was like, I knew that was coming. I just ain't know when it was coming. And then they showed a thing on YouTube talking about 8 people that have unmasked Rey Mysterio. And it was going to put on Twitter talking about y'all need to take me off because mine was an accident. And I put up the emoji. I said, okay. Like who you lying to nobody but yourself. Who are you trying to fool? We know what you did and what you felt like you had to do to win because you was tired of losing. You even said you was tired of losing. Just keep it 100, okay? Keep it all the way $1.50, whatever you want to say. Stop faking and just say that's what you did because that's what you had to do. We even like, I hate. Okay. And just left it at that. Okay. And then trying to figure out. Oh, so then they showed the Miz talking to Karrion. And then Truth came and was like, I know you might have been confused, but he was like, when you attacked me last week, he was like, but I'm not a part of the Judgment Day anymore. And the Miz like, no, I attacked you because I'm done with Awesome Truth. He was like, I can't explain it because he was like, oh, you done? And then Karrion was in his ear, was like, you can't go on and people take you seriously and you with Truth. And then he was like, well, I'm going to get you a match. And Miz was like, that's the problem. And he was like, you want a match next week? He was like, me versus you. And my thing was like, I'm here for Karrion's persona. I've always said that. And I was like, I love how his persona has come to fruition. Because it's been a long 2 years when they've been trying to get this together. And at first we was confused because even though he said he's the reason why like Shinsuke went heel and he's the reason why Drew went heel, and this might be true, we've never seen him have someone decide to go heel and then him be like the shot of him being next to that person and having a conversation with him. That's what was the icing and the glue that could put the pieces together. Like, okay, after he said, we gonna have a match, me versus you, and he was like, you need people to take you seriously, and Miz said what he said, I said, okay, now it makes more sense for his persona. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first, he would just injure people and then have matches against them, and then they get tired of him getting attacked, and then that'll be it, and then he'll move on to the next victim, and we were like, what? Like, it didn't make sense sometimes. So now I'm like, okay. I was like, I love Karrion Kross. I'm like, it's been a long time coming. Okay. So that's gonna be interesting for tomorrow. And then I didn't know tonight was in St. Louis. So I'm like, St. Louis is lucky because they got Raw tonight and NXT tomorrow. So then I finally saw Sexyy Red's hat, and it said "Make America Sexy Again," but it was pink. And you know, she was sitting behind Joe and Wade, tearing up whatever food she had. And they showed Ava talking to Adam, and Ethan Page came out, and she was like, "Hey," she was like, "I remember you." She was like, Trick basically whooped your tail for the NXT title. And he was like, ugh. And she was like, well, forget you too then. And walked off. I was cracking up. And then it ended up being I was confused by the women's match, because at first I saw the Unholy Union. And I was like, okay. Then I saw Pure Fusion Collective, which I hate that name. And I was like, are they wrestling against each other? And then I saw, this is the part that confused me. So then after that, I saw Katana and Kayden. And then I saw Zelina. Where I get Eve from? That's old school. That's what I say. I know I'm tired. Zelina, Lyra, and Natalya. And I was like, is it a 3-on-3-on-3 match? And then I was like, or 2-on-2. Then I was like, it's a 5-on-5 match? Like, this is crazy. And the match was going on, and some people, you know, have mixed feelings about certain wrestlers, and that's always the case. So I'm not even gonna get into that. But Lyra ended up pinning and winning. And I said, Lyra Valkyria is up next. Watch. I said, watch what I tell you. I said, especially since Becky is gone on hiatus. I'm like, she is up next. She is gonna be the next woman superstar break out of Raw. Even if she stay on Raw for some years, she's gonna be a women's champion soon. Okay? Because I was like, I don't know. At first, like, I didn't get it. Not in the way I didn't get Tiffany. I got Tiffany to an extent. I just felt like the stuff they was giving her was rushed, and I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? But I knew her. But like with Lyra, I'm like, I get the tenacity and the hard work that she puts in, but and her being like mentored by Becky and all that, being friends. But I was like, she's gonna be, and when she becomes a women's champion, I don't know how. Like, I've only heard her, I think, in like one or two promos when she's on NXT. But when she gets in it like a year or two, she gonna be bad. Okay, and they give her that title. And then I forgot it was 2 matches. So after that, I forgot about Sheamus and Pete, because they did their little promo thing, and this is my stuff. They did their little promo thing, and I thought Pete had cut his hair because they had him on one side of his angle of the camera. I was like, did he cut his hair? And nope, he came out with the one side shaved and stuff. Sheamus came out first, and then Pete came out, and then somebody on the thing was like, Butch. And they came out with the shillelaghs and stuff. I don't know if Pete did the finger thing, because I didn't really catch too much of this match either. Our the internet was being stupid. But I saw the zip ties and stuff like that with Sheamus, and I'm like, the zip ties and stuff with Sheamus, and I'm like, oh, he about to win. He do this finger thing and stuff, and Sheamus got them zip ties on him. I was like, it's gonna be a wrap, okay? Surprisingly, Sheamus won. And I was like, I'm surprised, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. Because I'm like, I forgot to put Sheamus on that list of resiliency. Sheamus is going to hold down P.O.P. But he gonna hold it down. You know what I'm saying? He'll fight to his last breath. He'll fight till he red. And you know, it don't take much for him to be and stuff like that. So he'll always fight. And then I think that was it. I think the main event happened. And I might have all some of this stuff out of order. So when I was thinking about Jey Uso, like I said, I watched Muscleman Malcolm, and that's how I ended up finding out about Solo. The interview with Solo before he came to NXT. That's when I started watching him on there. But like he had interviewed Jey at a meet and greet for like, it's a short video. It's like 4 minutes. He asked us like his Waffle House order. First of all, the Waffle House order, if he's being serious, that's a lot of freaking food. 6 eggs, 2 waffles. What he said, 2 cookies, 4 things of lemonade, and a cup of coffee. I was like, that's crazy as hell. First of all, but the 6 eggs probably justifiable because he a grown man. Because my son, if he hungry, he'll eat 3 scrambled eggs, and he 10. He'll eat 3 scrambled eggs. I would say 5 pieces of bacon, but the bacon ain't even really 5 because I'll take a pack that's like whole and I'll cut it in half with the kitchen scissors, and then I'll like wrap up one side so he'll think he's getting 5 pieces because you know, if the plate and stuff looks full, you can trick your brain, but it's really 2.5 pieces. And then he'll eat like a piece of whole wheat toast or 2 with cinnamon on it and a little bit of jelly on it, and then he'll eat some like strawberries. And he used to have a cheese stick, but they don't even sell the Kraft Polly-O's no more. The mix with the cheddar and mozzarella, which I'm mad about. Okay. And some juice. And then he'll be good for like 4 or 5 hours because of all that protein. Then once the protein, he uses all that energy on the protein, he be out. But I'm like, God dang. So then he asked him stuff about the IC title. And how does he feel being a part of the list of the family, doing all that. And then he was like, all right, thank you for having me. And then he was like, Jey Uso, a part of the Polynesian Power Pack. And he's like, you took it to FCW days. And I said, dang. Because, you know, my son with the diagnosis of autism, kids get fixated on something and then they are fixated on something for a while. So, like, with the whole Jey thing, like, we watch FCW stuff. I mean, the Usos, we watched. And that's how we figured out, like, Hell in a Cell matches. That's how we discovered Up, Up, Down, Down, because he wanted to watch it. He wanted me to watch it with him, so I watched it. So, like, when he was part of that, you know what I'm saying? Before one of the dudes, I think, was part of his name wasn't even Jaden, it was Jules. So I was like, I would have entered it part of these pack, and I was like, all right, Jules, aka Jey, and see if he would have said something. But I'm like, if you know, you know. Just like Roman's name, that wasn't even Roman's name, and he came out with a whole Samoan what's the thing they have wrapped around their waist called? And then like the what's the name around his ankles and stuff like that. Like his look was totally different, and he looked big. Like Roman looked muscular and big now, but he looked big as hell then. And I was like, you could tell he came straight off the football field, or he was still football big because he was big as hell. Okay, so then it was Sami versus Gunther. Gunther comes out, and some people was like they don't like him because he's arrogant, and I was like, he plays a persona well. And people on the internet was talking about like, what wrestling would you want to see? And my son was like, you seen that question when they asked him who would win a match, Gunther or Walter? And I was like, I think Walter. And he was like, cause he bigger. And I was like, he was more rough around the edges. Like, I feel like wrestlers that are rough around the edges would win, if that makes sense. Like, if I'm coming from Japan, to me that's rough around the edges, and I gotta fight a version of me from WWE. The Japan version is definitely winning. You know the move set and stuff they do and how hard the match, the ring looks. Like, definitely winning. With WWE, it's different because you got to fine tune it and you probably got a shorter time limit and you're doing stuff with kids, so you can't do a certain deadly moves. Like, there's no way in hell he was on the European circuit. Like, yeah, Walter's completely winning. Like, and then I had to mention something. I was like, I want to see Nick Aldis versus Adam Pearce. Like, I don't know if they became managers because they didn't want to, they're older and they didn't want to be part of the business anymore, or if it was because of injury. But if it's not because of injury, we need to have that. Because somebody said they did that a while ago with Teddy Long versus somebody. I don't know who he fought. It was like, it was fire. But Sami comes out. I love Sami's song. Y'all know it's a feel-good song. It changes everybody's mood. And he did all he could to do. He did all he could do. And he ended up losing, I think, by a tap out. And Sami lost. I think in his mind he thought he was going to win, because he even told Cody and was like, you going out there to see about this crown jewel thing, and it might be me you face. So then at the end of the match, Gunther's like walking to the ring, and then Cody comes out and he looks at him, and then it shuts off. And someone's like, is that how you end Raw? And I was like, you could tell we programmed to end in a certain way, but I was like, back in the day, it used to end like that. It used to end when you be like, what the hell else happened? Just like a soap opera or something. And we had to wait to find out. So it's just, we have to get reused to the old that we used to. The funniest thing I saw today on Twitter was someone had like a old, like Homer's dad sitting on a hill, and it was kids when he was like, back in my day I watched SmackDown. It was from 8 to 10 and it was on UPN on Fridays. And I was like, it was though, and that's exactly how you gonna look to them. And I said, they probably gonna be like, I was like, first of all, they're gonna ask, what is UPN? And second of all, they were like, what is regular TV? Because I'm like, by then, if they don't have TV on meta glasses and stuff, like we see in movies, everything gonna be on streaming. So I'm like, that's hilarious. Okay. Let me get off here, because what time is it? It is 11:22 and I am exhausted. Like, my eyes are like, and this one is itching. I gotta get some eye drops. My eyes are heavy. I just need to get some rest. So I hope you guys had enjoyed Raw like I did and had a great evening. And if you have to work today, have an awesome day at work tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you enjoy your day. Love you all. Oh, and the people that's down there in Florida, my mom is one of them. I don't know how we got from H to M, Helene. So I, J, K, and L must have been either drifted off or they was real small. But y'all be safe, please. If you have money to leave and it's the building gonna hit, please get up out of there. If not, stay safe. They said that MCO, which is the Orlando airport, is closed on Wednesday due to the weather. So hopefully a lot of like the superstars and stuff that we watch on TV can get home, because NXT is Tuesday and I know a lot of them fly out probably Wednesday morning. If not, they're going to be stuck in St. Louis. So, yeah, I'm praying for you guys. I hope, because these hurricanes be a trip. But what I've come to know for most of the hurricanes, just like humans, the men don't really. No, I take that back. Because a couple years ago, we had one that didn't hit, and then Michael came and showed out. But so I don't know. But Melvin sound like an old person name, so Melvin might not do nothing. The hurricane, you know what I'm saying? Helene's kind of old person name too. But y'all just stay safe. Just stay safe, and make sure you got perishables to eat in case power stuff goes out, like canned tuna and crackers and beans and fruit and stuff like that, peanut butter and jelly, stuff like that. So I'm going to keep checking on it. I hope you guys are safe. I love you all. Bye.